In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up independent same field pivot table slices based on a single pivot cache. I've got two report sheets, report sheet 1 and report sheet 2. Both have exactly the same pivot table and both have exactly the same slices for the same fields, except that the slicer fields behave independently of each other for the same field. So for example, in report sheet 1, we've got the order year as 2024, and then for report sheet 2, we've got the order year 2025. And the difference is that the sales for report sheet 2 is showing $39,000 and for report sheet 1 $14,000. So demonstrate that there's no cross filtering between the same fields. If you make some different selections, so if you went for report sheet 1, we went for the state of California, you see a new total of $222,000, and report sheet 2 is still unchanged. So if you make a change here, let's go for the state of New York. You've now got $174,000, and for report sheet 1 you've got $222,000. So as you can see, there's no cross filtering for the same fields between the sheets. Next, I'm going to show you how it's done. These are the steps you need to take to create your independent same field pivot table slices. So for report sheet 1, I don't have any slices anymore. I've just got the pivot table, and on report sheet 2 we've got nothing at all. So in order to do this, we need to make sure there's nothing on report sheet 2. So on report sheet 1, the first step is we need to take a duplicate copy of the pivot table and paste it into report sheet 2. You can copy the pivot table by clicking on any cell of the pivot table, press Ctrl A, then Ctrl C to copy the pivot table, or alternatively, you can click on any cell within the pivot table, and then from the Excel menu for pivot table analyze, we need to go for the select button and then click on entire pivot table. That selects the pivot table but doesn't copy it. So to copy it, we need to right click and click on copy. And then we go into the other sheet, the report sheet 2, and for the same position, for the same cell position, we paste it, Control V, or you can right click and paste. So we've created a duplicate of the pivot table on report sheet 1 onto report sheet 2. Next, what we need to do is go back to report sheet 1, and while the pivot table has been selected, so not copied but selected, select the pivot table, then on the pivot table analyze menu, click on that, and then click on insert slicer, and we're going to choose the fields for the filtering. We're going to choose order year as we saw earlier, and city and state. Click on OK. So you got your three filter slices. You can reposition them and resize them to the way you want it. And I'm just going to remove the filters if there are any applied automatically on the slices, so make sure there's no filtering. Next we need to do is we need to go into report sheet 2 and do the same thing. So we select the pivot table, not copy it, then go to the pivot table analyze menu, go into insert slicer, and for the same fields we're going to choose the same fields, order year, city and state. OK, and remove the filters if there are any automatically applied, and then just resize and reposition the filter slices. So as you can see, report sheet 2 and report sheet 1 are exactly the same pivot table, same slices. And what we want to do now is we want to test to see if the same field pivot table slices are cross-filtering, if they're independent or not. So for report sheet 1, we'll go for the order year of 2024, and we're going to go for a state of California. And so that's a filtered sales amount of $222,000. We go into report sheet 2. You see there's no cross-filtering. Great. So it's still showing the original full amount of 2.2 million. Let's make some different filter selections. So on report sheet 2, report sheet 1 has order year 2024. Let's choose report sheet 2's order year 2025, and we're going to go for the state of Florida. So we've got a new sales amount filtered 41,000. Has that cross filtered from sheet 2 to sheet 1? No, it hasn't. So there's no filtering going from report sheet 1 to report sheet 2, and no filtering going from report sheet 2 and report sheet 1. So that's how you create your independent same field pivot table slices. To also check for independent same field pivot table slices, we can look at the report connections which are available to each of the slices. So, for example, on report sheet 1, for the ODA slicer, for the field ODA, if you right click, this option report connection is available to all slices. Click on this. Then for the ODA field, you're going to see all of the report connections, and this is going to comprise of the name of the pivot table and on which sheet it belongs to. So Excel calls the first pivot table on report sheet 1 as pivot table 1, and the one I created, the copy of this pivot table, which I pasted on report sheet 2, is pivot table 16. So as you can see, for this filter, the check is only against pivot table 1 on report sheet 1, and there's no check against report sheet 2. So that means there's no cross filtering. Click on OK. Now, if you click on the other sheet, report sheet 2, and then right click on ODA again, and this time on the report sheet 2, and then click on report connections. This time you see that it's only going to be filtering pivot table 16 on report sheet 2. So again, there's no cross filtering from report sheet 2 to 1 and from 1 to 2. So that's how you create your independent same field pivot table slices. Thanks for watching, and watch out for my next video.